Hello, Stampin' Friends. This is Trenna with a quick video kind of showcasing World Watercolor Month. Back on June 30th on my blog, I had a little video on there that was made from Stampin' Up! Showing different techniques doing watercoloring. And today we're going to try one of the first ones they show on that video, and we're going to make this card right here. And frankly, I just copied their card that they had on the video, just using the stamp sets and colors that I had. This is, of course, the hand-penned Petals stamp set with the coordinating dies. I've loved the designer series paper that went with that. It is no longer available, but I loved it so much I still have a bunch of it, so you'll probably be seeing more of that in the future also. But this hand-penned Petals stamp set has been great. We are going to use this stamp set today, which I have already stamped in Sahara sand and die cut, and also this little flower, and then of course the thanks today. So let me set this aside and we can kind of get started here. First of all, let me kind of go through some of the stuff that we'll be using today. We are going to use the Whisper White thick cardstock for our card base. Then we are going to have 3 by 4.5 piece of designer series paper and another 3 by 4.5 Whisper White cardstock. And then of course we've got our stamped and already die cut flower that is on watercolor paper. So this is what you really need. You need that watercolor paper, some type at least, because it makes a big difference as far as when you're adding water to a piece of paper. And then also we're going to need about probably 30 inches of twine, something like this. This is old retired twine that I had, and I love it. Also too, if you noticed on this twine, you see those kind of areas where it's kind of bent and stuff. Hey, take your old curling iron, just kind of run it through your curling iron and it'll get those kinks right out of there. Let me throw that over to the side for right now. Let's move some of this other stuff out of the way. The first thing we're going to do, even though I know you'd love to get started on the watercoloring, we're going to stamp first our little background that I had kind of on this one right here. So let's kind of do that first. Let me move some stuff around. And this is something where I have stamped off, and you can see on my little piece of paper here that I did a lot of stamping off. Usually whenever I stamp off, I just have to do it one time, but I seem to get a lot of ink on this for some reason, and so I stamped off twice. So I'm using the Sahara sand and my little flower stamp. I'm going to stamp off twice and then just anywhere on here that I see. And I know it's real light, but you can kind of see it. I want it just a very light imprint. So just kind of picking some different places here to about right here. That looks good. Just to give a little bit of background to that paper, because I thought it was just too much white. And if you look at the video that Stampin' Up! Prepared, you can kind of see where it looked like they did something to their Whisper White cardstock also. Don't quite know if it was the same thing here that I have done, but I got the idea from that. Let's maybe just do a little bit there. Oh, that's probably more than enough. Okay, let me set this to the side. Put my Sahara sand away. Let's start with the mint macaron now. Find it real quick. And we're just going to simply stamp thanks across kind of the top here. And of course, as you know, I always do a extra little thing just to make sure I'm going to get a good image. So let's put him about right here. That looks pretty good. Looks good. Set then this again once to the side. And now we get to the fun part. We're going to actually start watercoloring. You'll want another scrap piece of paper just to be doing your watercoloring on. I am going to leave out my mint macaron here. And you can see, normally you can take your stamp pad and give it a good squeeze and get some ink up on the thing. For some reason with our newer stamp pads, I was having a hard time getting ink on there. So instead, I took my trusty little refill, dump some ink right in the top of the case, and we're ready to go. Used our aqua painter. This is an older style, same type of thing. And of course, you're going to want some paper towels just to wipe off some of the ink. Okay, move some stuff around here. And I'm going to start just by squeezing and getting some ink on there. Going to pick up a little bit of the color, just kind of see how that's going to look. And then we're just going to start painting a little. And since I've got a lot of color right now on that, I'm just going to kind of go where I've got that. And then I'm going to pick up something that's not quite so bright, kind of, and color that in. And this is all there is to it. A little bit of water, picking up some ink. The more ink, of course, you pick up, the darker it's going to be. You can always go back in and add more color if you think you want it. Okay, quickly here, I'm just going to add some more green very quickly. And then let's move on to the next color. Going to wipe off my brush a little bit. Close this up because you know me, I'll end up with ink everywhere. Let's do a little bit of the Blushing Bride. Now, once again, this is one where I squeezed. And there's my color on my thing. Make sure I don't have any more green on my pad. And then I'm going to just start picking up color and coloring in. This is just the fun part of it because it doesn't have to be perfect. Just whatever you like, as little or as much color as you like. Now, I might want to go through here and just kind of dot a little bit, maybe put a little extra color right in some of those areas where it had the ink, where it looked like more petals. Do something like that. Let's see. Let's color another little one. Oh, kind of where did I do it on her? That one. Let's do this guy. Okay. And you're getting the idea. Once again, I'm going to wipe off my thing. And let's put a little bit of pale papaya on there. Once again, this is one where I couldn't seem to squeeze it, so I dumped some of my color on there. It kind of absorbed into the ink pad, but we're going to pick it up. I'm just going to color this guy in a little bit. And maybe this guy too. And then I also took and just dabbed some of this to make the centers on my flowers. Well, you don't need to sit here and see me do all of this. You kind of get the idea, I'm sure. So, through the miracle of video, let me set this stuff aside. And we're going to put together our card real quick. So, we've got our card base. I'm going to take my designer series paper here and just put some of my adhesive on the back. And the card, see, got a little bend on that card. That's going to bug me. So I'm going to just stick it on there kind of crooked, however you like it. And since I've already prepared this, I've wrapped my twine around several times so you can kind of see that. One of the other things that I did want to tell you that another demonstrator was kind enough to let us know about is when you have this twine and you're wrapping it around, you can also sometimes use your this guy to hold it in place for you. One of these that stays, the tweezers that stay closed when you're doing it, because you can hold it like this and then tie, do whatever you want. It helps hold it in place. Thought that was a neat idea. Okay, let's get some of these dimensionals off. I thought I'd put dimensionals on this to just keep it, add a little bit more of something to the card. Pop it up a little bit. Okay. And once again, doesn't have to be perfect, just anywhere you'd like it. I think I'll put it about right there. I like seeing some of the green. And once again, my finished watercolored flowers, more dimensionals on the back of that. Then there's another thing I'd like to show you once I get this put together. If I can get my dimensional backs off. And let's see, which way do we like it? Kind of like it a little bit like that. It can hang off. Yeah, kind of like that. We're going to go with that. All right. Now, if you notice on my cards, this card right here, it's got a little bit of a gray in between the flowers, where on this one, there's nothing in between. You can see it's still white all the way around it. I like both looks, but for some reason it bothered me a little bit, and so I thought I'm going to try something. So I took one of my gray watercolor pencils and just scribbled a little in between the white areas, such as this. And then I took one of my blender pens, I'll get this one going here, and then just kind of blended it in. So to give it, when I didn't like all that white around it, and really there's nothing wrong with the white, just for some reason right then bugged me. So I like it both ways though. Just another way to use your watercolor pencils and your blender pens. Well, that's about it. Nice quick video here. I hope you enjoy trying your watercoloring. And these, once again, are the cards that we have made. Pretty fun. It's fun to try doing watercoloring just for playing around. So have some fun with it. Don't think that you can make a mistake, because you can't. It's just water and a little bit of ink. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.